Recap in minutes. Today we will be going through an action, adventure, horror and thriller movie from 2002, entitled, Dog Soldiers. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. The movie begins with the scenes of a lake in a forest of Scotland. A man fetches some water and comes back to his wife near their tent. The woman gives the man a silver letter opener as a present and asks him to not lose it. At night they go inside the tent to rest, but they see that the zipper of the tent is being opened by someone. Shortly afterward the woman is dragged out by unseen assailants, and both of them get killed by them. The movie takes us back 2 hours earlier to North Wales, where a soldier named Private Cooper sprints through a dense forest. He is desperately running to escape from being captured by another group of soldiers who are pursuing him. Eventually, a soldier spots him and attacks him with his searchlight. However, Cooper swiftly counterattacks, injuring the soldier and his comrades. Despite his valiant effort, Cooper is outnumbered and overpowered as the pursuing team wrestles him to the ground. In the next scene, it is revealed that Private Cooper had been attempting to join a special forces unit. Captain Richard Ryan, witnessing Cooper's impressive evasion of capture for 22 hours, acknowledges his resilience. However, they stop when the captain sees their dog. He abruptly orders him to shoot the dog. Cooper apologizes for shooting, but the captain reminds him that he is under his command and must obey orders without question. Captain Ryan insists that it is a direct order to take up the weapon and shoot the dog, but Cooper refuses once again. Disappointed, Captain Ryan fails Cooper in his test and instructs them to send him back to his squad. 4 weeks later, a squad of 6 British soldiers, Terry, Joe, Bruce, Spoon, Sergeant Harry, and Private Cooper, is dropped by a chopper into a remote area of the Scottish Highlands. They arrive to conduct a covert training exercise against a Special Air Service unit. They pause at a spot in the forest to discuss their upcoming plans for maneuvering in the area. While engaged in conversation about their mission, Cooper informs the group that this forest has a notorious reputation for mysteriously disappearing people. He mentions recent reports from the past month of a couple who went missing in this very area. He says the police only got their empty tent with the stains of blood on it, and says there must be a serial killer in the forest. As they begin to speculate and make assumptions, the sergeant quickly silences them and instructs everyone to proceed towards the river. They proceed through the forest towards their camp, unaware that Captain Ryan of the Special Air Service unit is covertly observing them from behind the bushes. Along their route, they discover a suitable spot to spend the night. They gather around a campfire, speaking in hushed tones about their apprehensions and fears of their lives. In the midst of their conversation, a creature unexpectedly tumbles onto their fire that startles them all. They are frightened by the presence of this unknown animal. Sergeant Harry carefully examines the creature's body, and deduces that it had suffered severe wounds before its demise. However, they remain clueless as to what caused its injuries and who might have harmed it. Harry suggests that they contact the base for assistance, but the sergeant dismisses the idea and orders the group to move away from the area. Meanwhile, Captain Ryan, still in the vicinity, hears a haunting howl and attempts to locate the source of the sound. Despite his efforts, he is suddenly ambushed by an unseen creature lurking behind the ridge. As they continue on their way to the camp, the squad notices a distant flare gunshot. They quickly surmise that it may have been fired by their Special Air Service unit, leading them to change their course and move towards the direction of the flare. After some time, the squad discovers the savage remains of the SAS unit. They come across Captain Ryan, who is badly wounded, and they inquire about what happened, but his response is unclear, and he urges them to quickly leave the area. The soldiers attempt to contact their base via radio, but their signals repeatedly get corrupted, preventing them from establishing a connection. Captain Ryan yells at them to run from there, otherwise they come there to attack them. He says they tore them apart in front of his eyes. Sergeant asks him who are they? He says they are the werewolf beasts who killed his men. In response, the sergeant gathers any remaining ammunition from their post and instructs everyone to shoot at anything unfamiliar. They assist Captain Ryan, carrying him while dispersing throughout the vicinity to take strategic positions for onward movement. As they retreat, unseen assailants start pursuing them in the woods. During the chaos, Bruce hears the haunting howl once again and aims his weapon toward the bushes. However, his gun gets jammed, prompting him to discard it and flee. Tragically, in his panicked state, Bruce is impaled by a tree branch that kills him. Hearing the commotion, the sergeant rushes after the werewolf to strike it, but another werewolf emerges unexpectedly and claws his stomach. In anguish, the sergeant cries out, catching the attention of Private Cooper, who rushes to the scene. The sergeant orders Cooper to shoot him and escape to save his own life. He swiftly begins to dress the sergeant's wounds when suddenly, another werewolf appears. Cooper's attack forces the werewolf to retreat temporarily, granting them valuable time to regroup and prepare to escape. Despite their efforts, the relentless werewolf continues to pursue them as they struggle to flee with the two wounded men, Captain Ryan and the sergeant. They carry them to a rural roadside where the group encounters Megan, who happens to be driving home. While they are settling in the Jeep, the beast attacks them again. One of them cuts the werewolf's arm with his dagger while Megan struggles to get her Jeep moving from the mud. Somehow they get out of it and run to find some safe place. They ask her to take them to a medical facility, but she informs them that there is no such place nearby. Instead, she offers to take them to a secluded house along their way. When they reach that house, they discover the doors open but find no one inside. Cooper suggests they wait outside while he investigates the house. He finds a fire burning and a dog hidden behind a closet inside the house. He returns to the group and invites them to come in. As they settle down, they discuss the terrifying creatures they encountered. When the darkness descends, the house becomes surrounded by the werewolves. Cooper asks Megan how they can make it to the nearest populated area. Megan informs him that they would need to drive 4 hours back the same way they came to reach a town or village. Cooper emphasizes the urgent need for medical help for the wounded sergeant, as his condition is critical. Megan agrees to help them get to the hospital. Cooper and Spoon venture outside to assess the danger before making their way back. However, they find that the werewolves have destroyed the engine of the Jeep. Cooper lights a flare to survey their surroundings, and a terrified Spoon fires at the approaching werewolves while Cooper shoots the Jeep's gas tank. This diversionary tactic allows them to return to the safety of the house. Inside, the soldiers fortify their defenses, sealing all windows and doors, desperately attempting to fend off the relentless creatures. Megan asks Cooper why they came to this forest. He tells her that they came for their special training. Megan expresses shock, assuming they had arrived on a rescue mission for the wounded. The next moment, Cooper and Megan take Sergeant Harry upstairs and treat his wounds. After that, they come down and talk to the other team members. Megan tells them that she is a zoologist and working on the werewolves project. Megan explains that the werewolves hunt in packs during every full moon, having claimed at least 15 victims in the past month. No bodies or werewolves are found after the full moon, leading her to believe that if they can survive until sunrise, the werewolves will revert to their human form. Now she asks Cooper what their mission actually is in the forest. He tells her that they were sent by the Army for special training with the Special Air Service Unit. He tells him about his team but suspects Captain Ryan because he was not in their team. Curiosity arises regarding Captain Ryan, as he was not part of Cooper's team. Cooper approaches Ryan and interrogates him about why all his men perished except for him. Ryan assures him that he too is a soldier, and was attacked by the creatures the night before the squad's arrival. However, Cooper remains suspicious and demands to see Ryan's wounds. As Cooper approaches, Ryan stops him with his weapon drawn at him. The others intervene and restrain him, deciding to tie Ryan up. Cooper proposes torturing him for answers, but their power supply is abruptly cut off by the werewolves, instilling terror among the group. They assume defensive positions against the approaching beasts. After a fierce battle, they manage to hold off the werewolves temporarily. One of the werewolves infiltrates Sergeant Wells' room where he is unconscious after receiving stitches. Cooper fights the creature and wakes up Wells, urging him to help to throw the werewolf out of the window. Downstairs, the werewolves launch another attack, and Terry is pulled through a window and abducted during the chaos. Running low on ammunition, they realize they cannot hold out much longer and decide to make a desperate escape. In the next scene, Megan informs Cooper about a car in the barn, and they devise a plan to flee from there. Spoon creates a diversion while Joe rushes to the barn to steal a Land Rover from the garage. In the process, Joe witnesses Terry being devoured by a werewolf. Joe drives up to the house's door but is subsequently killed by a werewolf hiding in the back seat. Under interrogation, Captain Ryan discloses that he was on a government mission to capture a live werewolf for research and weaponization purposes. Cooper's squad was intentionally sent as bait and considered expendable. Enraged by this revelation, Sergeant Wells and Private Cooper attempt to kill Ryan, but he transforms into a werewolf and escapes into the forest. It is then revealed by Megan that the Ua family, who own the house, are the werewolves themselves. Determined to eliminate the threat, the soldiers decide to blow up the barn, where Megan had suggested the werewolves were hiding. They use the Land Rover and a gas cylinder to create a makeshift bomb. However, after the barn is destroyed, Megan confesses that there were no werewolves inside. She discloses her true allegiance as part of the Ua family, and a werewolf herself. Furthermore, she admits to unlocking the back door of the house, allowing the other werewolves to enter. Before fully transforming into a werewolf, Sergeant Wells shoots her in the head. Now Wells and Private Cooper retreat upstairs, while Spoon engages in a fight with a werewolf in the kitchen. Although Spoon initially gains the upper hand, a second werewolf intervenes and kills him. Sergeant Wells and Private Cooper shoot through the floor upstairs to evade the werewolves and descend into the kitchen, only to discover Spoon's lifeless body. Wells instructs Cooper to seek shelter in the cellar, and hands him a roll of photographic film that was found in a flash camera used to stun the werewolves. He urges Cooper to show these photographs to the world, as the werewolves break into the kitchen and Wells confronts them. He begins to transform, but he cuts the gas pipe and triggers an explosion, destroying the house and killing the werewolves, sacrificing himself in the process. With the sun rising, Private Cooper attempts to leave, but the werewolf version of Captain Ryan confronts him. After a brutal battle, Private Cooper manages to stab Ryan in the chest with a silver letter opener, weakening him enough to deliver a fatal gunshot. The movie ends when Cooper emerges from the cellar, accompanied by Megan's dog, Sam. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe recap in minutes for more videos like this, and help the channel grow.